ever felt like you skipped a stage of life? Like everyone your age is still figuring things out while you felt responsible for as long as you can remember? This might explain why. Maybe you were the dependable one, the one teachers trusted, the one friends vented to, the one who felt strangely uncomfortable being reckless, even when everyone else was. Maybe you've caught yourself thinking, I feel older than everyone here. And not in a superior way, in a tired way, like you've already lived through something they haven't. Most people call that maturity, but sometimes it isn't maturity at all. Because feeling older than your age isn't just about being wise, it's often about exposure, about carrying things too early, about learning lessons you weren't supposed to need yet. And here's the part almost no one talks about. That feeling didn't just appear one day. It formed quietly, in moments that didn't look dramatic from the outside, in rooms where you realized someone had to stay calm, in situations where being the child wasn't really an option. By the time you noticed it, being the mature one wasn't a personality trait, it was survival. And survival has a cost. People who feel older than their age often show small, subtle behaviors. They overthink texts before sending them. They hesitate before expressing needs. They're hyper-aware of other people's moods. They don't like being a burden. They rarely act impulsively. On the surface, it looks like emotional intelligence, and sometimes it is. But underneath that behavior is something deeper. It's vigilance. When someone feels older than their age, it's often because they had to be emotionally alert early in life. Maybe a parent was unpredictable. Maybe there was conflict. Maybe there was stress in the home that no one openly talked about. So the child adapted. They became the calm one, the mature one, the easy one. That's not personality, that's protection. When you grow up scanning the room for tension, you develop awareness faster than other kids. You learn to read silence. You learn to anticipate reactions. You learn what not to say. And that creates the feeling of being older, because in many ways you had to be. But here's where it gets interesting. It's not just about responsibility, it's about identity formation. When a child receives subtle approval for being so mature, so understanding, so strong, they internalize that role. It becomes who they are. So later in life, when they're in their 20s or 30s, they still feel slightly out of sync with their peers. While others are experimenting, they are calculating consequences. While others are expressing emotions loudly, they're processing quietly. While others are chasing chaos, they're craving stability. And sometimes they feel like they missed something, not because they weren't capable of fun, but because fun never felt fully safe. That's another layer people rarely talk about. Feeling older than your age is often linked to emotional safety. If your nervous system learned early that unpredictability equals danger, you naturally gravitate toward control. You plan ahead. You prepare for worst-case scenarios. You think through conversations before having them. It doesn't mean you're anxious by nature. It means your system learned that preparation equals survival. And over time, that becomes your personality. But the real reason this feeling persists into adulthood isn't what most people think. It's not about confidence, it's about control. When you've had to manage emotional environments as a child, calming parents, avoiding conflict, staying small, you develop a subtle belief: if I stay composed, nothing falls apart. So you stay composed, even when you're overwhelmed, even when you want to be messy, even when you want someone else to take the lead. You carry yourself like someone older because somewhere along the line, you felt responsible for more than your age required, and that shapes how you relate to people now. You might struggle to fully relax around others. You might feel slightly detached in social settings. You might be protective of your time and energy in ways that seem excessive to others. But it's not coldness, it's calibration. You learned to measure situations before stepping into them. Another subtle sign is you feel uncomfortable asking for help. Not because you're incapable, but because somewhere deep down, You equate dependence with risk. If you had to handle things early on, emotionally or practically, your brain wired itself around self-reliance. So when others your age lean freely on friends or family, it can feel foreign, even unsafe. And over time, that deepens the sense of being older, because you're carrying invisible weight. Here's the unexpected angle, though. Sometimes feeling older than your age isn't about hardship. It can also come from being the gifted or responsible child, the one adults treated like a mini-adult. You were included in serious conversations. You were praised for being wise beyond your years. You were expected to understand things other kids didn't. That early intellectual or emotional elevation can create distance from peers. You don't feel misunderstood exactly. You just feel ahead. But ahead can also feel alone. And when that identity solidifies, it becomes hard to drop it. Because who are you if you're not the mature one, the stable one, the grounded one? That's the identity impact most people never examine. When you build your sense of self around being emotionally advanced, you unconsciously avoid situations that make you feel inexperienced. You don't like looking naive. You don't like not knowing. You don't like being the chaotic one. So you stay in control, and control ages you, not physically, but psychologically. There's also a quieter layer. Sometimes feeling older than your age is grief. Grief for the version of you that didn't get to be carefree. Grief for the innocence that got replaced with awareness too soon. You might not consciously think about it, but it shows up in moments where you watch other people act freely and feel a mix of admiration and distance. You understand them, but you don't fully relate, and that awareness can feel isolating. But here's something important. This isn't a flaw in your personality. It's a coherent response to your environment. Your nervous system did what it needed to do. Your identity formed around stability because stability mattered. Your maturity isn't random, it's patterned. And once you see that pattern, something shifts. You stop labeling yourself as too serious or too old for your age. You start recognizing the structure underneath it. It was never about being different. It was about adaptation. And that doesn't make you broken. It makes you someone who learned early. The interesting thing is, many people who feel older than their age eventually start noticing something else. They begin craving experiences they skipped, not recklessly, just quietly. Moments of lightness, moments of softness, moments where they're not the emotional anchor. That craving isn't regression, it's integration. Because beneath the maturity is still the part of you that wanted to explore without scanning for danger. And acknowledging that doesn't erase your depth, it simply rounds it out. So if you've ever felt like you were born 10 years ahead of everyone else, if you felt the quiet exhaustion of always being the steady one, there's a reason. It wasn't random, it was a pattern shaped by early responsibility, emotional awareness, and the need for safety. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, and that awareness alone changes how you understand yourself. If this explains something you felt but never fully named, there's more beneath the surface. Understanding yourself is the beginning of everything.